Okay, so we're getting to the more advanced stuff now with the Pro version, but I want to come back to the original version. I just tested something when I took a break there for a few minutes that was really interesting that I want to cover. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you something really interesting as well. Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and I did a content map, but I did a content map for the top keyword in here, the top winnable keyword, which is take home pay calculator in California. You can see the KD is 9 and it's winnable. Okay, now this is going very in depth what your content could be as far as the outline. It will tell you the target length. It will tell you what's being covered on the first page of Google. Okay, and it's telling you how many words and how much length, etc. Okay, interactive elements to add. This is really important because everybody's doing AI content. Okay, but we've got to differentiate what we're doing. We've got to have something unique, something linkable, like a calculator is very, very good, or a quiz or something like that. Interactive checklist, infographics, all that kind of stuff, especially if you put a share box underneath. So if somebody wants to put that calculator tool on their website or that infographic on their website, they can do so with an HTML embed code that you provide and it links back to you. Okay. Some people actually do that, and that can get you some good backlinks and increase the number of referring domains coming back to your page. Okay, so we also see in here an entity map. Okay, so we got what's called a neighborhood. This is a sort of bigger entities like FICA, Medicare, Social Security, and for the angles, it's got some entities here as well. Okay, when you click here, check how these names resolve. It's just going to give you information about these neighborhood ones. Okay, and you will see here that it's mentioning what they are in case you do not know, but you need to just be aware this is only for information purposes for you. Okay, so obviously this one's talking about Medicare, US federal health insurance. Okay, if you've already got a page, you can compare your page to what's actually ranking. Now when we come down a little bit, I've built this in initially for me, but I've built a tool that creates microsites. Okay, I've been watching some people on YouTube doing videos about how microsites rank, and microsites are perfect for this kind of thing. You want to be able to build them quickly. They're not on WordPress. You put them into free places like Cloudflare or Netlify or something like that, and basically what that tool will do is it will build a whole website with content clusters. So it's maybe 1, 3, 5 or 10 articles, and it creates the content and gives you the zip file that you can just upload into Cloudflare, etc. Okay, and create these mini sites and put them on your own domain as well. Okay, so that works well with SERP Gap to be able to identify that as an opportunity, especially when we are seeing opportunities like this. Okay, when we're seeing opportunities like this, if you look at how many have actually got more than 1,000 searches, then that is going to make a very, very good 10-page website. Okay, just one microsite. Okay, just for that one purpose. Okay, so you could take those 10 keywords and go and build, but that tool is not released yet. I'll try and release that over the next few days. Okay, so what we can do now is we can take this whole content article brief. Okay, you can just copy that, and what we can do is we can just open ChatGPT, or we can open Claude, whichever you prefer. Let's use Claude for this. If you want to use ChatGPT, it will work just as well. And you can see that's just pasted in. And I'll keep it in chat, not in co-work. And you can choose here which model you want to use. Okay, so you can use Fable or Opus. I would stick with Opus for this. It's going to give you very, very good output. And while that's happening, let's go and have a look as well at the options that we've got in here for SERP Gap, because you can choose the provider that you want to use. Okay, so I've got OpenAI chosen for this one. If you want, you can use Claude, and if you choose Claude, then just put in your API key and you can choose which model you want to use. Okay, for that search that we just did, I used ChatGPT 5.6 sol. Okay. Ahrefs API key, it's free, and it will give you the domain rating free for all the searches that you do. And the data for SEO, okay, this is not needed for every single search. Okay, now I put $50 in there the other day, and I've been testing like a madman for the past sort of 4 or 5 days. I've still got $47 left. Okay, I've only spent about $3-4, not a lot at all. So you can get a lot of mileage out of putting in credits into data for SEO, and it gives you a huge amount of information back as well. It's actually really worth doing. Okay, so what it's doing is verifying the numbers. This is part of the prompt. Okay, verify the numbers before writing, since the brief says invent nothing. Okay, do not hallucinate, do not make stuff up. Okay, don't invent anything. So what's going to happen is it's going to go deeper, and because I'm using a high capability model, it's going to take a little bit longer for this to actually produce the output that we are waiting for. So I'm just going to pause it for a couple of minutes. Okay, now look at this, guys. This is really decent output that we got here. Take home pay calculator California, what you can actually keep in 2026. Okay, and you can see it's got all these different sections and subheadings, 5 deductions, and it's going really in depth. Okay, numbers to plug in. These are citable data, and they are confirmed as well, because when it was doing when ChatGPT was writing the prompt, it was confirming the numbers first. Okay, it was verifying the numbers first, so there's nothing made up. Okay, this is great content for a single page. Okay, one caveat on the state figures, and it goes into detail, letting people know. Worked example, so if you're earning $95,000 salary, how much you would pay for income tax for FICA, California income tax, etc. It's got a nice little table in here as well. Now, I don't know anything about American taxes. I'm not even going to pretend, so I'm not going to dig too deep into the article, what it's actually saying, because it's completely foreign to me. Okay, it's just going deeper and deeper, and this is good. This is really good information, and it's even got the sources. So you got some good high quality outbound links in here as well. Okay, and it's got a disclaimer at the bottom as well. Perfect. Okay, what does this need? It needs a calculator, obviously. Okay, it needs a calculator, and you can click here and get a calculator idea. Okay, if you click on that, you see the animation here, it's working. When it's finished, it should scroll to where that output appears within this sidebar. We'll just give it a second. In fact, I'll pause it when I'm waiting. Okay, so that did take a couple of minutes, which is okay, because we're using the most capable ChatGPT model to do this. So we've got the calculator name, inputs and results. When we can scroll down a little bit, you can see it's got some information about the result it's expecting, why it fits, and the complete build prompt that you can just take this and put it into ChatGPT. Okay, and that whole prompt is going to build you a tool that you can just embed into your web page. And this is very, very cool stuff. Okay, and it's really in depth as well. Have a look at this. Really in depth. You're going to get a really high quality calculator built from this. Okay, and all that information is just ready, copy, paste, put into ChatGPT or Claude. Okay, both will work. Okay, now here's a tip as well. What we can do with, you got in here you can create infographics, etc. We got something here called image prompts. Now these can be good, but here's the thing that we have found when we're doing things like the newsletter, the Growth Signals newsletter, and when we've been building articles out for the new AnthonyHayes.io site, AnthonyHayes.io, is if we actually have content like this, it's just to copy all of it. Okay, you can actually just click on copy at the top here. Okay, take it and go into ChatGPT. Okay, let's just go to ChatGPT, and this is the best AI to use, LLM ChatGPT to use for images, infographics, etc. It's very, very good. And just put something like, can you generate prompts to use within this chat so that we can generate one image at a time, and I need an image for each section of the article. Okay, so then we can go deeper. We can do something like the image should be part of the content. Okay, and this next line I'm going to write, you might not like, or you might like. It's entirely up to you, but I'll explain why I'm doing it. Okay, I'm going to tell it that I want it to, I want the content, I want the images to reflect what the content is saying, so that if people skim, some people don't like reading long articles, I don't, but if I've got images that are depicting what was written, I find it's very, very scannable, and I can pick up all the information that I need. Okay, I'll go for this kind of page anyway. It's going to be for the calculator tool, not to read a whole massive article unless you're really interested in it. But if you've got a scannable sort of set of images on every section, that makes it content that can be absorbed. Okay, that means people will come back if you've got other articles and stuff that you want them to check out. Okay, so make the content reflect, make the image, not the content, make the image reflect content, so that people who do not like to read long articles can easily scan and skim the images and absorb the main points about the article. Okay, what are we doing? We're making it user friendly, basically. Okay, and that makes it pretty decent. My typos, I do a lot of typos. If you've not watched any of my videos before, don't be surprised when you see me do a lot of typos. In fact, we do lots of free webinars and sessions as well, like this. So if you join the WhatsApp group, you can learn about them, and plus you get discounts on most of the tools that we do, but not on the $12.95 tools. Okay, so what I can do then is put in here is the article, start with a hero image for the featured image, same thing, and then also output remaining prompts for generating the images we need for this article to stand out and be user friendly. Okay, and high quality. Okay, something like that. Now just put in the article here, and it will go and generate those. Oh no, it's actually generating there. And you know what I did is I put in here create an image. Okay, I shouldn't have put in here. I chose, when you choosing here, it's got an option to create an image. I shouldn't have clicked that. I should have just left it, and that way we'd have got just the prompts back. But you get the picture. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so I did promise something interesting that I would cover, but I've got one more thing to show you in here. We can find real citable data to add. Okay, so we can copy the research brief and put that into ChatGPT if you want to get some extra data, and it will be verified again for you. Okay, I would use ChatGPT for this one. Okay, Claude is also very, very good at this, but okay, I would stick with OpenAI. But here we can also build the article tool. Okay, it defaults to a multi-step calculator. This is important. If it defaults to a multi-step calculator, then we're going to get something really good, okay? Because it's going to ask people a series of questions that keeps them there longer. And it should give you, because it's multi-step, it should give them personalized results, okay? Personalized results. Okay, so now that's done. That's the hero image, which is kind of like an infographic. What I'll do is I'll just put in here, please provide prompts for images to be generated for the remaining sections and H2 headers throughout the article. This is kind of what we do for our own stuff, and it usually works out really well. It's better if you give it some branding stuff, some branding information, etc., etc. I'll just let that run in the background. Now we've already generated a tool prompt already, so I'm not going to do it again, and we've already generated some statistics and research that were proven. Okay, so we don't really need to do that extra bit down here. You can if you want to go deeper, if you want some alternative, but because this would be a calculator page, okay, and this would actually be the article that is optimized with the calculator in there. The calculator and the article themselves become complementary, in the sense that it kind of creates a flywheel in a way, that where the content is optimized based on what we found in the search results from what we need to be. And by putting a calculator in there, it's going to help to increase the time spent on the website as well. Now, I did promise something else I would check out. So I'm going to clear all this. Now, if you've done a search like this and it's kind of in depth, you do want to make sure that you save your stuff, at least save your tables, okay? So you got all those keywords saved. Okay, and just check, I think we've got an option to save the campaigns as well. So we can at some point somewhere, I believe. Okay, I'm going to have to make that prominent. That's another thing I need to put in the next update, where we can save it. I know it's here somewhere, but because we've put so much data in here, I don't know where it's gone. So I'm going to put up here, save the campaign, somewhere it's easy to find. Okay, that normally happens when we're building new stuff, and especially when we're building kind of in public, like I'm starting to do. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear, start a new search. Okay, it's going to take from the main keyword, take home pay calculator California. Analyze the search, start again. This is on the front end. Okay, you see Blue Ocean, Winnable. When we come down here, you can see there's nobody's optimizing for it in the title. Somebody's got it partially optimized for the title, but the URL slug is not there. H1 is not there. We're going to add some H2s, and let me just remind myself of that, so I don't forget H2 column. Oh, for goodness sake, what am I doing? My keyboard skills are as bad as my spelling. Okay, H2 column. Okay, I reminded myself. Okay, let's come back over here. Now, what's interesting here is when we go into the variants. I'm going to click on the variants here. Okay, and now we're going to check the search volumes. And look at this. We're starting to get some variations for California. Now, what I want to do is, if you're choosing like a state, have an option where we can dig deeper into all the cities in the state. And when you're choosing a city, we can dig deeper using zip codes and neighborhoods of the city as well, so that we can go and find the real winners when we're drilling right down. Okay, but here you can see California paycheck calculator. CA payroll calculator. This is the search intent showing up. It's the same search intent, or even though it's different, it's not exact match, it's the same search intent. So you're going to see the volume here is the same, and this is using the Google Ads API. Okay, so if you're advertising for this, your advert would show up for this. you know, it's probably the same in SEO. Has to be. Okay, let's come down a little bit more. And you can see take home pay calculator California, that's the keyword we got. California salary calculator, and we can see some variations. After tax salary calculator, that could be a different calculator on the same site. Okay, wage calculator after taxes is just a variation of that one. Hourly paycheck calculator, 1,300 searches. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but if you start to rank for a whole bunch of these different keywords and they've got this kind of search volume, you can see how that can pan out into quite significant traffic. Okay, and it does work like that. That's how it works. When you're ranking for keywords, it's not just one keyword. It's usually, you know, a lot of keywords that you're ranking for, close variants that you're ranking for anyway. Okay, so that's the pro version where we can dig a lot deeper. Okay, and we can do things just that little bit better, a little bit more automated for you, where we can generate articles like this just by taking the prompt and putting it into your chat model that you want to use, whether it's ChatGPT or Anthropic or whatever. Okay, I think I'm done for this because I've ended up here. I've got 3 different screens, it looks like, open on the same tab, and it really confused me there for a few seconds. Anyway, you can grab this right now for just $27 for that upgrade. Okay, and it's $12.95 for the front end. You need to put your front end key in first, or it won't work. The license key for the upsell won't work. Okay, this is cheap as chips, guys. This is really high quality stuff that you can get for not a lot of money. Okay, what I'm doing now with these $12.95 tools, 2 things I'm going to be doing with them. Okay, I want to release them. I was going to release them one every week, but I found it was a real bottleneck trying to get these funnels all done and out at one time. Okay, because there was a lot of videos needed to be done, etc. as well, and a lot of testing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to release them as and when they're ready, just as single tools, starting at $12.95, and maybe the pro version on the same sales page with an option, whatever the price will be for that, whether that's 27 or 37, whatever it might be. I don't know. But I'm going to release them without any upsells, okay, over the next few launches, just to test so that I can get them out at speed. I've built about 60 of these Chrome extensions in the past few weeks, and they're all very good. And every time we are releasing one, I improve them and make sure they're as good as they can be. Okay, you can see that from the stuff that we've been doing just in the last 2 videos that I've recorded. If you watch the front end demo video, that I'm taking notes as I'm seeing stuff, and those will be then applied to get new updates, new features, improve the tool, make it as good as it can be. Okay, I'm not building for launch. Even at $12.95, I'm not building for launch. It's actually part of a case study, the whole thing selling at $12.95 one-time cost to build a buyers list, which will be part of a workshop that we will do a little bit later. Okay, if you like this kind of content, if you like this kind of marketing sort of approach, all the stuff I do, to me, this is a lot of fun. Okay, if you want to make internet marketing fun like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click on the link in the description to join the WhatsApp group. Okay, because we will be covering huge amounts of stuff in there, including free sessions, free webinars, and free training, and some really good stuff, interesting stuff, so that you can have fun when you're doing marketing. You can learn some new stuff as well as we go through. Okay, thanks. I'll see you